What's up, everybody? Smile the DM here. Now, for this movie in particular, as well as two others in this series, you may have noticed that Birdman did cover these films. So when a movie I want to cover has already been covered, I will be giving credit where credit is due in the description of that video. And if there are any points that I can add to what was originally stated, or even disagree with on both ends, I will make those comments after that sin. Just know that I will be adding more points to the Sins video if I can find any that they missed, so that their video won't be a full-on copy word for word. So with all of that out of the way, if you haven't seen the previous video in this series, follow the link on your screen or click the link in the description or pinned comment below.
Stay down, don't move! Don't move! Don't run! Go, 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 go! Oh, no, just run! Run, 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 run! Let's go!
Movie thinks you remember the name of the goddamn island from the first movie, or give a shit.
Says the guy that damn near has a nervous breakdown when a movie won't tell him where something is. I'd like to think that people watching this movie would like to know where exactly this movie is taking place, considering the dinosaurs are just free roaming and they weren't in the last movie.
Don't ruin your appetite, darling. We're having prawns, your favorite.
I don't like prawns.
For God's sake, leave her alone, Deirdre.
Stereotypical way over the top rich family is stereotypically way over the top.
You saying this isn't how rich people behave and speak? Have you actually met rich people? No, 200K per year doesn't count.
Oh, that's Camilla Bell, star of 10,000 BC and When a Stranger Calls.
Damn, I guess being cast as a young girl in a Spielberg movie doesn't guarantee a life of drugs and promiscuous sex. Only a career of middling films. Interesting.
This is Jeremy's way of going, hey, I recognize an actor. There's literally no depth or meaning to this sin.
Mother's screams about her daughter's horrifying attack are turned into a movie editing joke.
Thanks for telling us something the movie is also blatantly saying, Jer. What's next? Movie contains Jeff Goldblum playing a character, and the equally astute, there are dinosaurs in this movie.
The scientist, the guy, I saw you on TV.
Apparently, the unbelievable story of dinosaurs on an island was a big enough story for everyone on this train to know about it. If no one believed this shit in the first place, how did it become a huge story?
What actually happened was that Ian tried to go public about his experience in the first movie with a book. Peter Ludlow, the powerful and rich nephew of John Hammond, publicly discredited Ian, making him look crazy on TV. So that's how people knew Malcolm but didn't believe him. You know, like a presidential election.
Kids important to the first movie are given a token cameo in the second one, because this movie has a lot of gymnastics it needs to get out of its system that these kids can't possibly reproduce.
Or these movies are loosely based on source material, and this particular story isn't about them? I don't exactly understand the criticism here. You're upset characters from the first movie are making a cameo? The fuck?
Site B was the factory floor. That was on Sorna, 80 miles from Nubla. We bred the animals there and nurtured them for a few months and then moved them into the park.
Yeah, no, you didn't. Or else you wouldn't have had eggs in the lab in the first movie, where we got to see them hatch and whatnot. You wouldn't have kept all that dino DNA on Isla Nublar either.
Not even 5 seconds before this line, John explains the lab was a front, something for tourists. You conveniently cut that part out, and it's a wonder why.
Isla Nubla was just a showroom, something for the tourists. The animals won't even know they're there. Very low impact, strictly observation and documentation.
Seems like John Hammond has never heard of the observer effect.
But that literally has nothing to do with what John just said, which was that the animals won't know they're there. He didn't say there wouldn't be an impact. He explicitly states it would be low impact.
Carnivores are isolated in the interior of the island, so the team can stay on the outer rim. Don't worry, Ian. I'm not making the same mistakes again.
How so?
Again, saying something the movie itself says.
Don't worry, Ian. I'm not making the same mistakes again.
No, you're making all new ones. No, you're
You're making all new ones.
Ian Malcolm would be amazing at CinemaSins.
Wait, do you agree or disagree? Because sitting this line comes across as playing both sides of the fence, and that's just disingenuous.
It's not even that. In the previous film, Jeremy points out that Ian Malcolm describes how CinemaSins operates with Malcolm's speech in the lunch scene. So what Jeremy was actually meant to say is that John Hammond from the novels would be amazing at CinemaSins.
Eddie Carr, who's a field equipment expert. We have our paleontologist,
who I am not revealing the name of until it's dramatic enough to do so.
The entire plot of this film revolves around Sarah going on this expedition. If she wasn't there, Ian would have never agreed to go. John doesn't say her name because Ian might have gone apeshit before he heard John's proposal. Have you never asked your mother to spend the night at a friend's house? You never lead with that. You ask if there are some chores she needs done and how her day was.
And their wee girl was injured. Oh, she's fine, she's fine.
Sure she is. That's what the blood-curdling scream from her mom told us. Now that I think about it, this whole scene was worthless. We saw some shitty tiny dinosaurs, the attack happened off-screen, and the parents were terrible human beings. And the girl is fine? I could have gone straight to this scene and I wouldn't have missed it.
The point being that the movie wanted to show you this scene in that not only does this set the tone of the movie to being darker than it is, but also for people who hate how things are told, not shown, they would just be calling John a liar and saying that this line was pure bullshit off the movie's part to get the plot rolling. Also...
Well, yeah, you've got a prissy mother whose child was being bitten by 100 chicken-sized lizards. All I'm saying is I've seen mothers screaming for less at Walmart.
So you went from capitalist to naturalist in just 4 years. That's something.
Yes, it's called forced character development.
Forced? This man is indirectly responsible for the deaths of 3 people and the ruining of Ian Malcolm's career. Him changing after the tragedy on Isla Nublar is the human thing to do. Hell, at the end of the first movie, he explicitly states that he made a mistake.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
Who's the paleontologist, by the way? Who you didn't say?
She came to me. I want you to know this.
John plays the pronoun game, and Jesus, could you just tell him it's Julianne Moore already?
This is one of those instances where the pronoun game is entirely warranted.
You sent my girlfriend to this island alone?
And it's amazing how subtly they stuck the exposition in that line.
I agree. Why is this a sin?
She doesn't even have Sega. She's such a troglodyte.
Sega wishes this joke wasn't dated as hell.
I don't know, bro. Knights in Virtua Fighter were kicking back in 1997.
Known her for 10 years.
Why did Malcolm ask Kelly to come all the way out here just so he could tell her she's staying at Karen's place? Is it so that she could become a stowaway and find herself on the island later?
How difficult is it to simply watch a movie that you're already watching? The dialogue reveals that Kelly's mother left her with Ian. He didn't ask for her to be there.
You like to have kids, but you just don't want to be with them, do you?
Hey, I'm not the one who dumped you here and split for Paris, so don't take it out on me.
But anyway, you got your own stuff. You got your gymnastics competition.
Movie plants the seed for something awful later.
Oh, come the hell on. Are we seriously sitting foreshadowing again? Not only that, but this is no longer the stupidest thing to happen in this entire franchise. And no, I'm not talking about the locusts or the battle droids. I'm talking about this.
He won't go any further up the river. He's heard too many stories about this island chain.
Why did he agree to go this far in the first place?
Money! Cinco Muertes.
Both photographer and expedition planner guy seem surprised by the name of the island group that Malcolm's daughter clearly saw on board one of the RVs when she was stowing away.
Jeremy thinks that because Kelly saw something, everyone else did.
All the islands, Cinco Muertes.
What does that mean?
Really? You mean you've never been exposed to basic Spanish your entire life?
Welcome to being white. You don't have to be exposed to things because culture caters to you. This is why Eddie didn't flinch at the map. He didn't even know what it said.
Nice dinosaurs enter the picture because it's not time for the movie to be dangerous yet.
Let's examine this claim, shall we? Nope, not dangerous at all.
Also, really, Jeremy? I think everyone knows what Stegosaurus is and how every single piece of dino media they were in back then, they were always depicted as dangerous herbivores that could stand up to predatory dinosaurs. My point being Just like the compies in the beginning, the Stegos are once again setting the tone of the film as being something darker than the first.
Hey, Nick!
Instead of being surprised by a sudden other human, Sarah goes straight into prankster mode and scares the sudden other human. Hilarious!
Or this is the movie characterizing Sarah, and with this small moment, we learn that she is free-spirited, brave, has a sense of humor, and already knows the other characters. In other words, this is the movie telling CinemaSins to eat shit 18 years before this video existed.
They're leaving. I think they're leaving.
Well, because you said so, we can save a ton of special effects budget by just believing you.
You see what I mean now back in Sin 80 when I said if they never showed that scene, Jeremy would have called it bullshit? That's why things in a movie should be shown and not told, because otherwise you get fans of CinemaSins saying that the dialogue of a film matters, but then turning around and calling it a terrible movie for explaining everything. It's like nobody wins at that point.
We're here to observe and document, not interact.
Which, by the way, is a scientific impossibility, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Malcolm feels the need to inform paleontologist Sarah Harding about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Aren't you the same guy who earlier tried to inform your R-word audience about the observer effect when they A, don't care, and B, don't know what the word the means?
Who started a fire?
Oh, I don't know, the daughter you completely forgot about back at the warehouse for some reason because this movie needs to prove how bad fathers are?
This makes so little sense, you're in the negatives. Ian sent Kelly to a babysitter. Why would he even think his daughter is the one place he doesn't even want to be? What the f*** are you smoking?
Do you see any family resemblance here?
That's racist. Kinda.
Yeah, but once again, like Birdman has been pointing out to you, the movie is also saying what everybody in the audience was thinking. Which again, given Eddie's reaction, would be pointing out things on the screen cliche.
Why not rescue me from that dinner with your parents that you never showed up for?
Skip?
No, you're not. We will not be skipping this scene today, sir. I've always wanted to try that. Anyways, the whole point of this scene is to expand upon the relationship with Ian and Sarah, and that Sarah will always be for him, while he is never for her until she goes on Dinosaur Island. Which, in turn, explains what Ian told Alan in the first movie.
Anything at all can and does happen. Same with wives, for that matter.
You're married?
Occasionally. Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for a future ex-Mrs. Malcolm.
As well as the argument Malcolm had with Kelly back at the warehouse earlier.
Hey, I'm not the one who dumped you here and split for Paris, so don't take it out on me.
Movie keeps putting in all these actors who were red hot in the mid-90s, like that's not distracting as shit. I love this guy and his character, but damn, it's like the casting director looked at the list of characters for this movie, tried to narrow it down, and finally said, I will choose everyone!
Jeremy sends something he likes in a pop culture reference ex machina.
Also, God, I wish this could have been the whole movie. Kobayashi hunting down dinosaurs, no San Diego scene, just the most dangerous game, Jurassic Park style.
I agree. Except for the fact I would argue that the San Diego scene is still one of the most iconic moments within this franchise. Sure, there were like 1,000 different endings to this movie, with the San Diego incident still having multiple reshoots as well as a deleted scene with the buck smashing through somebody's house with a little girl looking out at him. But still, the ending we got still had a T-Rex running through downtown, which was awesome to watch for the first time.
Hey, check out this neat CGI.
Yeah, that still looks pretty good. So, why is this a sin again?
See that distinctive dome skull? 9 inches of solid bone. How careful.
This guy was inserted into the movie so that he could Discovery Channel all the knowledge we need to know.
Yeah, but if he weren't here, you'd see a Pachycephalosaurus, have a seizure, and make a penis joke because you didn't know what it was.
No one will be seated during the Mad Max portion of the dinosaur movie.
Jeremy makes a...
Wait, how did that work? You're saying he shot some kind of gun and it was a wire with a noose on the end and it landed perfectly on that thing's neck to be reeled in? Or was that a different gun shooting at a different animal just slash cut into this sequence to confuse me?
That's because while you were making awful Mad Max references, you missed the part where they put the noose around the Pachycephalosaurus. This person was shooting it with a tranquilizer. How are you this dumb?
This movie reminds me that the special edition Star Wars came out the same year, and it pisses me off just thinking about it.
Yeah, but that's a sin for episode 4 of Star Wars. Not this film.
Zognathus triassicus, found by Frost in Bavaria in 1913.
Does it kill anybody?
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the main reasons movie discourse is overrun with absolute fucking morons.
Also, compies do kill people in this franchise. thanks to Camp Cretaceous making them having a venomous fight canon like they have in the novel.
They look cute, but they actually have trace amounts
of venom in their bites. Quick thinking, D.
In the books, they killed John Hammond by biting him enough times where the venom just calmed him down as he dies in bliss, which is exactly what happened to Dieter in this very film, as well as Lena in Camp Cretaceous Season 5. So yes, Jeremy, they do kill people.
Dinosaur feels exactly like I do after a 40-minute first act.
Jeremy, this is how you feel doing any movie you cover on your channel, mate. Absolutely nobody's being fooled by this. Except for your subscribers.
San Diego is the perfect set. People already associate our beautiful city with animal attractions. San Diego Zoo, SeaWorld, San Diego Chargers.
Wah, wah.
Alright, ignoring the lame joke Jeremy tries to pull here, this line has always been a what the fuck. Like, I get the zoo and SeaWorld, but the Chargers have never been associated with animals. So yeah, I will not give a sin nor take one away because associating a football team as an animal attraction is kind of stupid.
Super well-organized and well-funded dino capture endeavor has no one guarding the captured dinos, or even making sure they don't die and shit.
It's almost like these hunters are here to exploit these creatures and don't give a dick about them.
Furthermore, this board meeting seems like an incredible time waster. I know Roland has his heart set on bagging a full-size T-Rex, but InGen currently has a baby T-Rex tied up and ready to go. Why aren't they already on the way to San Diego? Is it so that Nick and Sarah can free the animals and we can have an island free-for-all for an hour?
I mean, other than the fact that these animals were already free in the first place before the hunters recaptured them, the hunters were probably planning on sending these animals off in the morning so that they don't worry about carnivores getting in the way of transporting them off. Also, even if Sarah wasn't there, Nick still would have freed the dinos out because, as he says in the film, he was the backup plan in case InGen came in.
Triceratops was just let out of its cage, so of course the first thing it does is crack through Peter's tent with a sense of irony.
Oh, fuck off! Sitting over one of the franchise's times where a herbivore got to be a badass is just as criminal as making a sin in the middle of a dinosaur roar.
As if we couldn't get enough of that avoid a Jeep in a tree scene from the original Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg is more than happy to give us another shot of it.
But does this shot look like this? So yeah, of course the sequel should do it, with more flair than the original did. Heck, I would argue this one is more badass than the original, even if...
How long does it take for T-Rex parents to hear their child screaming? They are fiercely territorial, according to John Hammond. And earlier we heard they wouldn't leave a baby this age alone for very long. So these T-Rexes are being very compliant with the plot right now.
If you've accepted the movie's explanation for the T-Rex parents, why are you all of a sudden not accepting the movie's explanation for how long they would leave the baby unattended? They are giving you the length of time now, genius. They didn't say 5 or 10 or 20 minutes. They said not very long. And the baby has been removed from the nest, the first place the parents would think to look.
We're in a completely different situation right now.
T-Rex mom finally gets mad about her baby missing at the perfect time to punch Malcolm's words into his stupid face.
Thanks for, once again, pointing out what the movie is also saying, Jer. Also, fuck you again for cutting off that kick-ass roar from the Rexes there.
Nick, I need your hand here.
Yeah, that phone call probably isn't in any way important. It's not like we're on an island full of dinosaurs or anything.
Do you guys see what I mean? Jeremy is now speaking to the characters in the film, instead of explaining to us, his audience, why this is something wrong with The Lost World. He even says we, as if he's in the movie. He's simply watching the movie here and talking to the screen, like crazy people do during a horror film.
Well, to be fair, this is a horror movie, Birdman.
I need another adhesive, something pliable that I can...
Gum to save a T-Rex machina.
To quote Birdman from his Order of the Phoenix video, where the hell is this considered a cliche? I wasn't aware of something that happens only once in this series would be considered a cliche. Also, Sarah later wipes that gum off of Nick in that very scene, so how is that gum helping the baby Rex in any way?
Quick injection of antibiotics and I can get him out of here.
Now you're definitely not doing anything that requires immediate attention, and you're still not answering the phone on Dino Murder Island.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
T-Rex is so pissed it went after a Jeep that obviously had no living things in it, and threw it because even dinosaurs know what makes a cool shot.
Or they attacked because they're dinosaurs and don't know what the f a Jeep is. I'm talking about you, because that was a Mercedes-Benz.
Okay, now throw the motherfucker outside already. Jake's up, people. Time for your survival.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche. Yep, I just made a new one. Worth 5 cents, too.
Earlier, when the T-Rexes walked casually into the camp, the ground was shaking under the high hide. Now that they're presumably running at full speed, no ground shaking at all.
You know what? This point is actually fair. The footsteps of the Rexes have been so inconsistent throughout this whole series, it's not even funny. Coupled with the fact that Jeremy accurately pointed out that they were probably running full speed into the RV, that a small earthquake should have happened in the trailer before they were even seen.
Hang on, this is gonna be bad.
Malcolm speaks only in understated dramatic movie lingo when screaming is more appropriate. Also, how could he see that anything bad was about to happen? It's dark, rainy, and they're surrounded by trees.
And let me stop you right there, because you almost answered yourself there. Also, the fact that they just let the baby Rex out to its parents a little bit ago, and you could see why Malcolm was having a Star Wars moment there.
T-Rexes accomplish half their mission and then just peace out for 10 minutes before returning.
That's because they are animals. They just thought part of the trailer fell off the cliff, so the rest should go with it, yeah? Nobody said all animals were smart. At least the Rexes came back to finish the job anyway.
She survives this just fine. Just a little scare.
Do you honestly think someone should die from an at most 15-foot fall? I'm honestly glad you're not a parent yet.
I will say, this scene with the trailer hanging over the cliff and the window that could break at any moment is pretty rad. There are a couple moments in Lost World that are great, and this is one of them.
Once again, I have to give credit where it is due. Jeremy finally has a good point here, because this is probably the best tense scene with just human characters in this entire franchise, bar none. So, we'll be removing sins here for this as well.
Rob, what? Anything else?
Yeah, 3 double cheeseburgers with everything.
No onions on mine.
I don't know, we'll turn it over.
Fuck you.
Come on, that was actually funny. And considering what's coming up soon, I think we all needed this joke.
Seriously? The T-Rexes are so hell-bent on revenge that after pushing the trailer over the cliff, they walked off, and then what? I heard some sounds and said, hello, that sounds like a truck trying to pull the trailer back onto the cliff, and ran back to stop it?
Or they could have just dropped off the baby / checked up on the baby and then came back to see what the noise was.
Also, meanwhile, they've left their defenseless baby out in the middle of the jungle so they can Liam Neeson this poor bastard.
Like I said in the previous sin, that's why they went off after knocking off the trailer over the cliff, to see if their baby was still fine where they left it.
Okay, honey, make a wish.
I'm kinda salty that CinemaSins makes light of the saddest scene in the entire franchise.
Alright, I'm going to slightly correct Birdman here. This wasn't the saddest scene. This was the most brutal in all of the franchise. Yeah, Zara was the first female death in this series and the most brutal of her gender, but Eddie's was still worse. You all would be thrown around by a pteranodon for a little bit and then instantly killed by the mosasaur, rather than being turned into a human wishbone by 2 T-Rexes while trying to save your friends any day.
Also, the T-Rexes eat the one guy who didn't really do anything to them.
Shit, neither did Nick or Sarah. They were trying to save their baby, remember?
That's why they persisted in destroying the trailers. They now feel they have to defend this entire area.
But this only occurred to them 5 minutes after they were long gone from the area, so they could kill that dude from the West Wing.
Notice how he said, this entire area, Jeremy? Unless, of course, you think entire means only this specific place.
Also, Jeremy makes a...
What is the problem? Velociraptors.
Well, just train them to be your motorcycle bros, right? Not that hard, man. Jeez.
Jeremy makes another pop culture reference, which shouldn't count towards this film set in that same series.
Velociraptor. Carnivore. Pack hunter.
You know, from Jurassic Park.
Oh, come on!
And the Rexes may continue to track us too if they perceive a threat to themselves or to their infant.
No, you're wrong there, Dr. Harding.
Mainly because you're a woman. I mean, because my man knowledge is better. I mean, damn it. How can I put this into terms her double X chromosomes will understand?
I know that Birdman skipped this scene, but you know what? I'll bite! First off, if it wasn't made clear in the Dinosaur Sins video, Jeremy being an SJW is just pure front from him to make himself more normal. Especially considering this sin he makes here, which, for the film as a whole, that was never the issue with Sarah and Dr. Burke. It was a clash between what was known about dinosaurs in the past versus having the living animals to study their behavior.
I'm trying to change 100 years of entrenched dogma. Dinosaurs were characterized very early on as vicious lizards. There's a great deal of resistance to the idea of them as nurturing parents. Robert Burke said that the T-Rex was a rogue who would abandon its young at the earliest opportunity. I know I can prove otherwise. And the Rexes may continue to track us, too, if they perceive a threat to themselves or to their infant.
No, you're wrong there, Dr. Harding. We'll lose them once we leave their territory.
No, don't bet on it. Tyrannosaurus got the largest proportional olfactory cavity of any creature in the fossil record, with the exception of one.
Right, turkey vulture. Could scent up to 10 miles.
Right. This is all very thrilling, but I say we should push on to the village.
13 sins for this manipulating bullshit, and for what that type of manipulation does to your audience.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in the long, sad history of bad ideas.
Including for the movie itself, but somehow the script didn't heed that warning.
Hey man, The Lost World is better than every movie in this franchise not named Jurassic Park. 1.
Hey Carter, I'm going to the ladies' room. So you wait for me here. Yeah, okay?
Well, I see we found the guy who trained Stan Lee's janitor in The Amazing Spider-Man, and the cafe worker in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Jeremy makes 2 pop.
Watch this attack, I'm quickly reminded that these little bastards did this very thing to a little girl at the beginning of the movie, and she lived.
Besides the fact that this character also lived this particular instance and didn't die until later, what the hell is up with the ding sound happening while you're talking? How does something like this even happen during editing? I've made quite a few parodies of your channel at this point, and not once has it occurred to me to throw a ding in the middle of me speaking.
Well, shit.
Carter.
Wait a minute, you mean Carter was only like 10 feet from the rest of the group? Why did none of the other non-headphone wearing people hear Dieter when he was yelling?
That's because Dieter only told Carter where he was going, and second, he fell down that random hill after he got lost in the forest. Thus, nobody heard Dieter screaming for help.
Blood is here to tell you that Dieter, despite fighting off the compies the first time and staying in pretty good shape, lost the will to do so once he jumped behind that log. And they worked super quickly this time.
Does this scene not remind you that you imply Dieter died the first time? Do you never think, well, this contradicts something I've already written, maybe I should delete it so I don't look like an ass? No? Well, shit.
Also, like I mentioned before, the compies in this series are venomous, and their venom is described to be a laxative, which causes the person to be blissfully unaware of what's happening to them to the point where they can't fight back and will die in their sleep. Thus, why Dieter was acting strangely after he got the compies off of him the first time.
Also, do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants. Also, you're not on a damn backyard camping trip. You're on the run from killer dinosaurs. Who even decided to pack this shit in the first place? Going to see some dinos. Don't want to forget the s'mores.
Jeremy is that one guy in every survival movie that decides you should share your food because he wasn't forward-thinking enough to bring his own. Fortunately, those guys tend to get killed first.
Yep, the character who earlier mentioned that the T-Rex has a great nose and might still be tracking them still has the goddamn T-Rex baby blood jacket. She's a brilliant lab scientist, but stupid as hell in the field.
I have to remove another sin here, despite the amazing scenes that follow due to it. But Sarah should know more than anybody else here that not ditching a bloody jacket is the fastest way to attract any carnivore, let alone the T-Rex parents that smell their child's own blood. And considering she was most likely working with African wild dogs, which have a smelling range of 12 miles, I would say that she would have known better, given that she stated earlier that the T-Rex has the largest olfactory sensor of any known animal. It was dumb that she says one thing, but then, with her knowledge, doesn't do the right thing about it.
So Nick took Roland's gun and put spent cartridges into it. Nick apparently thinks there's absolutely no reason ever that you might need to kill one of these things and is willing to risk lives on it.
Roland stated it earlier when they first met.
You're that Earth First bastard, aren't you?
Now, Earth First was an environmental group in the 80s and 90s where they were doing whatever it took to preserve the natural world, which included messing with poachers, putting themselves in the way of lumberjacks, and even destroying construction/agricultural equipment. So naturally, since Roland is here as a big game hunter looking to kill a Rex, Nick obviously was going to try to stop Roland by removing the bullets out of Roland's gun. Also, this whole subplot within the Lost World was in fact the inspiration for Roland and Nick in the first place. Spielberg based these two characters based on a song by Warren Zevon called Roland and the Headless Thompson Gunner. Now, I can't play the song here, but if you read the lyrics, it's almost one for one what Roland and Van Owen's characters are in this film.
Wait a minute, is the movie saying after he tried to kill the T-Rex once and found spent cartridges, he suddenly grew a conscience and decides, nah, I'll trank him instead? Or did he not bring any spare ammo?
You have literally just answered yourself with the question you asked. That's why Roland goes to trank the buck. He didn't bring any more ammo. Besides, considering this is a 700 Nitro Express, those bullets are big and heavy.
Oh my god! Ah! A snake!
Come on, this guy's so freaked out by a snake he forgets the T-Rex.
This dude clearly has a phobia of snakes. But yeah, irrational fears of certain things is ridiculous. Ah! A spider!
How did this asshole know they were behind the waterfall? Did he see them go in there? Did he watch the T-Rex eat the Discovery Channel dude and think, maybe my daughter and girlfriend's in there too?
And let me stop you right there, because you've just answered yourself. Again.
Here's another great moment in this overall flawed movie. We see the trails of the raptors headed toward the hunters. A great visual with great suspense. I'm knocking off another sin.
Once again, credit needs to be given where it's due. Seeing the raptor as they approach the hunters in the grass, then their tails shaking up in the air as soon as they catch somebody, is absolutely amazing for a horror film. So I will be removing a sing as well, because when Jeremy does have a point I can fully give 100% support on, I will give it to him.
No one hears the first 3 raptor victims get victimed.
Well, yeah, because the raptors are being somewhat quiet with their attacks. It's not until somebody sees somebody else getting murked that they notice the raptors are there. It could also be the fact that none of those 3 hunters were screaming once they got hit, which is weird. Maybe that should have been the real sin.
This guy is screaming at nothing until in the next shot, a raptor finally takes mercy on him and eats him so his scream wouldn't be in vain.
Alright. I will also agree with Birdman on this one. This was a good joke on Jeremy's part. See, people, I can favor both sides if I agree with both of them.
Sudden fall slide in a jungle cliche combined with a they all survive this. Double sin.
I mean, it was a natural slide formed by the rock being eroded by water, which is possible since they are on a tropical island. Also, new power machine come, bro.
Sequel takes time during this suspenseful moment to fillet the first movie.
So would you not decorate your business with the stuff you are doing at your workplace? Because I somehow doubt that, given how most people, even here on YouTube, decorate their recording studios with something they associate with. Also, this is Jeremy's fancy way of saying boner.
This kind of seems like a really stupid raptor to me.
Why? Because she jumped through the glass, the same thing a human would do if it couldn't get through the door?
Hey, you!
Smart Raptor, much like the audience, is so stunned by the gymnastic turn this movie took, it is dumbfounded what to do when confronted with it.
Yeah, but that's... Oh, I see what you're trying to make me say, but that's not gonna work, because I got something better. Jeremy points out things on the screen, cliche.
Also, I'm glad her gymnastics could play a part in the dinosaur fighting. That's not stupid in any way.
Honestly, even back then, this wasn't all that stupid. I mean, you even pointed out the foreshadowing that they did earlier in this film. So what's the problem here? The fact that the raptor got distracted and allowed itself to get hit by that? Dude, I would think making effectively B1 battle droids and an even younger girl who just learned how to use a crossbow almost killing an Allosaurus would be higher on the stupidity list.
Raptor infighting allows Sarah to escape yet again, though I'm not sure what allowed her to survive that fall from the roof onto her back, but whatever.
Again, Sarah survives a fall that isn't near as dangerous as Jeremy is suggesting. Maybe she should have knocked the wind out of herself. But die?
It's okay, it's over now.
Okay, movie should totally have ended right there, but instead...
Okay, this is now Jeremy admitting the San Diego ending was stupid. Jeremy yells at the screen, cliche.
They're headed in a port, but I can't raise them.
So this is a decently suspenseful scene. But is the movie telling us that once the T-Rex started his rampage on the boat, no one sent out a distress signal?
Right, because the first thing I'm doing when a 40-foot-long murder machine is charging at me is looking for the distress signal.
This has always bothered me. The T-Rex went on a rampage and managed to eat whoever was at the ship's wheel without breaking any windows or opening any doors. Meanwhile, whoever owned this hand apparently had the best grip in the world, to the point that his hand stayed on the wheel after getting eaten whole.
I'm going to agree and disagree with Jeremy here. On the one hand, some of the people on the ship, like Captain One Hand here, would have been unbelievable kills for the Buck to make, considering there was no glass or even structural damage on the bridge. On the other hand, people have come up with a theory in which velociraptors got on the ship and killed some of the crew while others were killed by the Buck. However, I'm going to go with how the storyboard was going to show the Buck breaking out onto the ship, so yeah.
First off, this guy thinks this is a good idea. He seriously thinks this is a good idea.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
T-Rex hangs out in San Diego. You ready for the next 15 minutes of this shit?
Yep. In fact, 1997 me was having such a great time at this point that
there's a chlorine pool, a potable water source for dinosaurs.
So let me get this straight. Jeremy thinks this T-Rex discerns whether or not its water source is potable. You know, the creature that has been presumably drinking from muddy and shitty ponds.
Who knows? Maybe just happy to see us.
Sarah's still giving human characteristics to the T-Rex.
Anthropomorphizing. Exactly what you just did a second ago.
Bus accidentally foreshadows Blockbuster Video's entire corporate future.
No, I don't think it was the Whopper. I'm pretty sure it was Netflix.
Steven Spielberg stages a scene where screenwriter David Koepp gets eaten, probably for putting this San Diego shit in it.
Oh, come on. It was Koepp himself that told Spielberg that he wanted to be eaten by the Rex in this film. Besides, after the equivalent Star Wars sequel treatment we got from Colin, I can't wait to see what Koepp brings to the table for Rebirth.
Dinotopia.
Oh, come on. That wasn't even close.
Dick movie makes a passing mention of pterodactyls. Gave 15 minutes to rampage over San Diego.
Calling this movie a dick, that's worth these many sins. Also, the pterodactyls are here as an Easter egg to one of the many endings this film had, in which they were taking down the helicopters taking the survivors home. This was then later recycled for Jurassic World, but still, a reference is still a reference.